One.
Hi, good evening, and welcome to our virtual cooking school. I'm here with Father Judge. My name is Adele Johnson. I'm the chef at the Park Avenue Pub. Tonight we are going to making a cranberry relish for you. This is an item that will serve beautifully with your home roasted turkey on Thanksgiving Day. Father Judge here is going to do all the prep for us. So the items that you'll need, we have 12 ounces of cranberries here. One orange,
one apple.
Both are washed. Make sure you wash the skin because you will be using the skin. We have cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, we have cloves, and sugar. Very, very easy. One pot and one spoon.
All right.
Would you like to start chopping?
Sure. Okay.
So Father Judge is going to cut, and as if you could see, the pieces are rather small. You kind of want everything to be the same size as your cranberry here.
Father Judge, while you're cutting, if you could tell us who usually cooks at the residence?
Well, we take turns. Everybody except Father Hicks. Father Hicks does the salad every night.
Careful when you're cutting like that.
Excellent. And regarding Thanksgiving, what would be your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
It's got to be stuffing. It's not Thanksgiving without lots of stuffing.
How do you make your stuffing, Father Judge?
Oh, I use different recipes over time. My mother actually had an Eastern European recipe for potato stuffing, which we all thought was horrible, but it was a family tradition, so we ate it anyway. But I prefer bread stuffing with sausages and chestnuts.
So did she use the potatoes instead of the bread to make the stuffing?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
It's a very Lithuanian sort of dish.
Oh, nice. Nice. So while Father Judge is dicing up the orange, we're going to put the cranberries, whole cranberries, you can buy frozen or fresh, into our pot. This tool right here is a bench scraper. It's a wonderful tool to use while you're doing some dicing, even for baking. If you like to make pies, it's a great way to press in your pie dough, to lift up your dough and place it into the pan. Anything. I love this tool. And it's a great tool to clean up the counter. Especially when you have all that flour all over the place. All right, don't get my hand.
You wouldn't want to cut your hand. That would be bad.
No. And the spices that we're going to be using, a little bit of cinnamon. We're going to use 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, 1 tablespoon of ginger. If I can open this.
McQuaid moms out there, I hope you make your sons help with the cooking and cleanup. That's important.
Of course. Mothers should never have to do the cleanup.
That's right.
Okay. Teaspoon of ginger. You could use fresh ginger too if you'd like. We have here nutmeg. So just a half a teaspoon of nutmeg. And then a half a teaspoon of the cloves. And for sugar, you're going to probably need a cup. Now you can always adjust this recipe according to your taste. If you'd like it sweeter, add more sugar. If you don't want it as sweet, add less sugar. If you like more cinnamon, put the cinnamon in. If you don't like ginger, just leave it out. That's the fun of cooking. You can make everything the way you like it. Don't forget this.
Well, you want that piece
We
too?
really want this skin in there because that's going to add a lot of flavor. And make sure you do it on a low heat. And you also want a heavy-duty pan. That'll help, not to have the burning on the bottom. So it's a very easy dish to do. You just throw everything together, you mix it around, you're going to let it simmer. Very slowly, maybe 20 minutes, it'll be done. And then we also put some more herbs together for you. So cranberry relish could also be used if you want to do baked brie. We have here pan-seared pork tenderloin, pan-seared beef tenderloin. Pairs beautifully with blue cheese or nice creamy brie cheese, a triple cream. Excellent.
All right, while you're continuing to do
Yes.
that, just wanted from the governor that brings the orange zone. So talk to me a little bit about McQuaid. How is McQuaid prepared for a situation like this?
We're going on Thanksgiving break. That's how we're prepared. Actually, we'd already planned on taking some extra holiday time at the end of that. So McQuaid is going on the holiday until the Wednesday after Thanksgiving. And then we close today because we're in the orange zone. And then we'll figure out what we're going to do a little bit later on. We know there are testing protocols we have to undertake in order to come back. So we're figuring out how to do that. And we'll play it by ear. And by the way, frankly, the governor's playing it by ear a lot too, so we're in good company.
That's all we could do, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's all we could do.
And a question for Adele. How long have you been cooking for?
I'm going to say all my life. I used to love cooking.
Wow.
As a kid, basically I would make chocolate chip cookies growing up. So. Yeah, I just love cooking. Love reading about it. I love eating.
What's your favorite cookbook?
Oh gosh. Love the French laundry. My favorite cookbook is called the Flavor Bible. Have you ever heard of that?
No, I haven't actually.
Flavor Bible is one of those cookbooks that say you bring home a salmon one night. You don't know what to do with it. You look it up in the book, the Flavor Bible. It lists all the ingredients that pair well with this type of fish, the salmon, and then you can create your own dish.
Wow. I kind of like Epicurious, the app, that way too. You just type in something, and it will give you some recipes.
Yeah, but the old saying, what grows together goes together. Just remember that.
Now, how does Park Avenue Pub have to respond to the new orange zone?
Yeah, we're doing a lot of takeout. That's been extremely successful. We change the menu weekly so we can give people a nice variety. Yeah, we're adapting. It's been well received.
All right.
And then Father Judge,
Yes.
when did you start cooking? How long have you been cooking for?
Oh, I used to help my mom out in the kitchen, but I actually only really learned how to cook a little bit when I got to be a Jesuit. And that was mostly because we had to cook. And then in theology, we had to cook for each other, and I was in a house of 16 guys. So you learn pretty fast. And at that time in the 90s, the big cookbook was the Silver Spoon.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the silver palette
Silver
I've heard
Palette,
of.
pardon me.
Yeah.
So we used that a lot. And while I was in theology, I also taught myself to bake. So every morning I made sourdough bread. And we
We
used
were
to call
just
it
talking
baking our
about
way
that.
through chastity.
Do you make your own starter, Father?
Yes, we had our own starter. I was in San
nice.
Francisco, so it
Oh.
was the perfect place to do that.
Tartan is the most famous bread place in San Francisco.
There we go.
So here we have all of our ingredients in the pot. We're just going to let it simmer down. And then Scott, the owner of the Park Avenue Pub, is going to come over and show us his famous cocktail.
Great. Scott, come on in.
Sorry.
He needs my mic.
Sorry about that. Today we're going to be making a cocktail called the Bridget, B-R-I-G-I-D, named after a former customer of ours. St. Germain base, which is an elderflower liqueur, low in alcohol compared to most liquors, cranberry juice, and sparkling out of California. So, if you don't have a mixer at home, you can use a large glass with a spoon. We'll start with our St. Germain. It's supposed to be fresh squeezed cranberry juice, but I don't think that's happening. And commonly asked question, why do you not shake all three ingredients at once? Have you ever shaken a champagne bottle? We all know what happens there.
Or open up a bottle of warm champagne. One time we were delivering a wedding cake, and they had a champagne fountain. Champagne was warm, and the cork popped out. All the champagne hit the window. Thank God it just missed the cake. It would have been a huge disaster.
Lovely. This is smelling very nice.
And you just top it off with, like I said, sprinkles. No garnish needed. You can put a cranberry in there, but I wouldn't recommend eating it raw.
Fair enough.
Simple, delicious.
Thank you. It looks great.
Looks
Have
good.
at it.
Okay. I wish with this live interactive you could share some of your own family traditions, but I'm sure every family has them. Thanksgiving is one of those great times where you dig out the oldies and goodies from the recipe books, and it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, cooking all day,
Yep.
8 to 10 hours to
And
cook.
eating the next 2 days, 3 days.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Leftovers are good.
Leftovers.
Yeah. So if you're interested, let's say, in making a baked brie, what you do is you buy your small piece of baked brie, leave the skin on. There's no need for peeling it off. Get a piece of puff pastry. You can buy it in the frozen section at the supermarket. And this one I've kept open to make it a little more rustic. You could always close it up. You can carve a design in the top. Do whatever it is you'd like to do. And you can put any kind of flavoring in it. It doesn't have to be a cranberry relish. It could be honey. It could be walnuts. It could be any kind of your favorite jam. And then put it together. Freeze it. Make sure you freeze it.
Oh, okay.
So for at least an hour. Put it in the oven, high oven, 350, 375 for 30 minutes, and then you have a nice puff pastry. And then
nice.
you let it sit for at least 10 to 15 minutes. If you cut it as soon as it comes out of the oven, it's just going to ooze all over.
I forget, how long did you say this should cook down?
That's probably about 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
20, 30 minutes. You'll notice it'll start to get thicker. If you ever make jam jelly at home, you know, you do the jelly test. You take a little piece out on a cold spoon, and if it solidifies, then you know it's done.
Okay.
And you could also make this, you know, a few days earlier than Thanksgiving. Refrigerate it. It lasts for a good solid week.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And if you do have a thin pot, just keep stirring it so it doesn't burn on the bottom. This is a nice thick pot, so we don't have to constantly stir it. But just make sure you keep your eye on the heat. Because if you get distracted like I always do, it could easily burn.
Okay.
All right. Another question.
Sure.
Any words of wisdom to share about handling the stresses of COVID, especially during the holidays?
Try to get away as far away from COVID as you can on Thanksgiving. So I'm going to just ignore it and say Thursday and Friday are just days for family, and actually it will be the Jesuit community. The four of us will be together. We'll do nothing those days, but we'll have Mass together and pray together, and we'll make food together and eat together. Our conversations will be non-COVID related, and we will simply pretend it doesn't exist and just enjoy one another's company. I'm sure a lot of you will be able to focus on family for the first time. Some of you may have older siblings coming back from college, so it'll be good to spend some time with them. And just stay safe, but really try to just back away from concern about COVID and the world and just enjoy one another's company and good food and perhaps a glass of wine.
Or a bottle.
Or a bottle of wine. Or a bottle of something else. How are we doing there?
It's coming along. It's looking
Very good.
Looking good. Did you get a good shot of the...
Ooh. That does look nice.
And this is the finished product right in the front here.
Now, would you serve this warm or at room temperature?
Room temperature.
Okay.
Not cold. You know.
All right.
And you could also, if you wanted it pureed and really smooth, just throw it in a blender and you get it nice and smooth, or, you know, chunky.
It's much prettier with the chunks, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Nice.
You kind of lose the color after it cooks down for a while, but the flavor is there.
Nice. Excellent. We're doing this, by the way, in the beautiful McQuaid cafeteria kitchen, which unfortunately hasn't been open since COVID began. We're looking forward to when we can open it again. I'm just amazed. When I was here last, we didn't have a new kitchen, and we certainly didn't have a pizza oven, which is down at the far corner of the cafeteria. With a little luck, one day we'll be using that again, hopefully sooner rather than later.
How long have you been here, Father?
This time I started as president on July 1st. I was principal here from 2000 to 2005.
5
And then I
years.
taught here in the 1980s.
Oh, well, what did you teach?
English.
English?
English, yep.
Nice.
That's my field.
So it keeps bringing you back. This is your third time coming
This
back.
is my third time coming back, and it's either 3 strikes and you're out, or third time's a charm. We'll see.
It'll be a charm. Definitely a charm. Yeah.
But people here in Rochester are just very, very friendly. It's a nice place to be, and it's a good
It
place to
is.
call home.
It is, yeah.
And it'll be a better place when we don't have pandemics going on.
Yes. Yes.
We have another question.
Sure.
What has enabled McQuaid to remain open? So prior to the orange status, what has McQuaid done to keep open and ensuring the safety of the students?
Well, when I was chosen to be president last October, I thought I would get here July 1st and just have a very, very restful introduction to the community and a slow time to make myself at home. And July 1st, very first day in the office, I was confronted with, how are we going to do graduation in August? It's like, oh, I hadn't thought of that. And we hadn't thought about much else, actually. So we did a lot of time in the summer planning for how we were going to open, if we could open, in the fall. And the really neat thing, since I've been here, was here last as principal, we've added another couple buildings, which gave us enough space that we're one of the few schools around that was able to have everybody come back in full time when we had enough distance to do that. So we started from there, the decision to bring everybody back into the building, and then we sort of built things around that. How do we make sure we minimize contact passing in the hallways? How do we make sure there are plenty of washing stations? How do we make sure that kids have places to eat? And I think we've done a pretty good job with that, actually. So, the new orange zone will give us a little bit more of a test, but we know McQuaid itself is actually quite safe, and in fact, there's probably no place safer for a kid to be than in school these days. But we'll follow the governor's order, and we'll come back as soon as we're able to. By the way, the person off site here is Heather Whiting from our development staff, who's asking all these questions. You hear her as a disembodied voice.
Another random question we
Sure.
have too, and this might require a little bit of thought. If you had to title your autobiography, what would it be?
My autobiography. Whoa. Probably short. No. Probably The Accidental Jesuit. When I was a kid growing up, I had no idea what Jesuits were. And the only reason I got to a Jesuit high school was because the principal of my grammar school, a very, very nice sister, Deirdre Cotter, said to me that I had to go to this school. I had no choice. And I said to her, okay. So I wound up taking the test for Regis. I was lucky enough to be admitted. And while I was there, fell in love with the Jesuits in like 4 years, and then entered right after that, right after high school, went into the Jesuit order. But it was not something I'd planned. It was not something I'd really thought out. It was just something that occurred to me at the end of school. So it was what I did. So the Accidental Jesuit is pretty good. And then just to show you how clueless I was, having been enticed by my Jesuit teachers at Regis, when I was thinking about what am I going to do as a Jesuit when I grow up, it was thinking, well, we would never be teachers. We're priests. We should be doing that. Never thinking that where I first learned about Jesuits was in school. So I was sent to McQuaid for the first time as a regent, part of my formation, and I fell in love with the classroom in the second day. I thought I wasn't going to like it at all, but my first group of juniors was just so wonderful to walk in on every day that I fell in love and stayed doing that. So you could also title the autobiography The Accidental Teacher. How's that?
So our sauce is getting a little
It's
bit
cooking
on the
down
thicker
nicely,
side.
yeah.
I just added a little bit of water just to thin it out. It's all going to evaporate anyway.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is there a consistency you wanted to get to? How do you know it's done? Is it just time, or?
it's just time. Yeah,
Okay.
you can see now the cranberries are breaking down, the
Okay.
apples are breaking down. And if you're making this, your house is going to smell amazing.
Ah, okay.
And here we have a really good consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Just let it break down a little bit more.
That's the other thing holiday out is a memory of scents.
Yeah.
You smell a pumpkin pie or you smell some cinnamon, and all of a sudden you're transported back to childhood and whatever the holiday was and whatever you were having for a
Right.
meal,
They say if you're trying to sell your house, bake an apple pie
Yep.
the day of. When you have an open house,
Mm-hmm.
it'll
Yep.
stimulate all those senses and those feelings and memories.
And I remember my mother swearing by an orange studded with cloves sitting in a little plate of water by a radiator. And we just scented up the whole house in the course of Christmas.
Yeah.
There we go.
How's everyone doing with their cranberry relish out there?
That's right. I hope you're cooking along with us.
We did have a question. They asked if the recipe would be repeated. So if
Oh,
you
sure.
want, it will be available on our YouTube page.
Okay.
We can make sure that it's out there too. But if you wouldn't mind just
Not at
repeating the
all.
ingredients while you're waiting.
Sure.
So basically it's a bag, frozen or fresh, 12 ounces of cranberries, 1 whole orange skin on, 1 whole apple skin on. Now also there are so many different apples out there. Granny is very tart, honey crisp, very sweet. Just choose whichever one you want. A good baking apple though. And then you have a teaspoon of cinnamon, teaspoon of ginger, half a teaspoon of the cloves and half a teaspoon of the nutmeg, and then 1 cup of granulated sugar. And you just throw it all in a pot, let it simmer slowly, and if it gets too thick for you before things start breaking down, just add a little bit of water to thin it out.
Nice.
Yeah. And like I said, you can make this several days in advance. Just keep it in the refrigerator, get it ready. It'll go great with ham, with pork, with chicken, with turkey, with blue cheese, triple cream cheese.
Well, I kind of like that idea of serving on crostini with a little bit of beef tenderloin or pork tenderloin, either one.
You could also, if, to make things easier for an hors d'oeuvre, you could also get those phyllo cups that you find and use that. That way you don't have to make your crostini, you don't have to bother with anything. And put a little cheese in it, dollop of your cranberry relish, or you can dice up the pork tenderloin or the tenderloin and put that in the cup too.
Very nice. Now, what kind of food do you specialize in at the Park Avenue Pub and Restaurant?
Well, we have a wonderful beef tenderloin, we have rack of lamb, a nice cod dish, we serve salmon and shrimp. We have vegetarian, gluten-free, dairy-free items on the menu. The takeout menu, we offer 5 different items. It comes with a salad or a Caesar salad, a bottle of wine for 2 people for $50.
Nice.
It's a,
Very good.
Great bargain, great deal. We also have a selection of house-made desserts that you can purchase as well.
Nice.
And now that we're only going into takeout, we'll be offering our regular menu and the takeout menu for,
Okay.
and then we
Good.
change every week, change.
Nice.
Yeah,
And you do seasonal specialties too?
always seasonal.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah. You have to, it's better to cook with what's in season.
That's true. Yeah.
And there are several things that'll never go off their menu, like their crab cake,
Oh, okay.
which they're very famous for.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a great
I'm getting hungry here. I'm ready to try this, I think.
Yeah. Would you like an hors d'oeuvre?
Oh, sure.
What would you like? The pork, the blue cheese, or
The blue cheese would be great. Thank you.
This is a nice blue cheese from Italy.
Ooh.
Nice and soft.
Okay.
Stilton blue is another.
With a little sage. Nice.
Go with that. How'd we do?
Very nice.
And it's very easy, very quick and easy. Your garnish.
I approve.
We just use a little piece of sage on the top. I mean, sage could be very, very strong, so be careful how much you use with that.
You were just saying you can turn off the vent so we can hear how wonderful the food is.
Yeah, we don't need the vent anymore. Yeah. So be careful with fresh sage. I mean, it's like rosemary. It can be very, very strong. You can use a nice piece of parsley. I wouldn't dice up the parsley, but just take the leaf and place it on top.
Okay.
Or some nice orange zest. You can candy orange zest. Zest your orange, just equal parts sugar and water, boil it, put the zest in there, take it out, let it dry. You can put that on top for a garnish.
Nice.
Be creative. Walk into your backyard, pick some stuff, and decorate your tray. Be very easy.
That looks very festive, actually. Very nice.
Yeah. This is a great time of year. You have so many colors and so many scents and such beautiful things to use.
Yes. Well, I'm looking forward to Thursday already.
So am I. We're doing Thanksgiving takeout for the first time in the Park Avenue pub history. So if you haven't ordered your Thanksgiving dinner and turkey to go yet, give us a call. We have plenty for you. Yeah.
I understand they have a glut of turkeys this year because families aren't gathering in big numbers, so
Right.
all those 40-pound turkeys, they're going unused this year. But
I know
that's okay.
a shame. That's a shame.
Let's
But you
keep
could
frozen.
Always cook a turkey, make soup out of it, turkey pot pie, turkey shepherd's pie, so many things that you could do with turkey.
Yes.
Save the carcass, make a nice stock out of it.
Turkey soup?
Yeah.
Turkey soup, turkey tetrazzini. I remember that growing up. Always a post-Thanksgiving dish. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you could even make a panini with your fresh-made
Yep.
cranberry chutney, put a little blue cheese on there, some turkey.
Remember as a family, because I had 3 siblings and my parents, and it was always a fight about which turkey sandwich was better. Turkey with salt, pepper, and mayonnaise, or turkey with stuffing and cranberry sauce.
I think I like the
Like that on Thanksgiving, and then I take the mayonnaise the next day.
Oh, good idea. Good idea.
So they're both very nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Equal billing.
Now, are you a football watcher? Do you watch football?
No, not really. No. I'm a pretty inept jock, actually.
That's okay. I don't know about football, but I do like to watch.
I did speech and debate.
Father Judge, we
Yes.
actually received a question. They would like to
Uh-oh.
your reaction to the drink. If you wouldn't mind just tasting the drink and seeing if you like it.
Oh, I don't know if I've ever had alcohol before. Ooh, that's very tasty. I was saying to Scott, I'd never seen elderberry liqueur before, or had elderberry flower or anything before. It's got a very, very lovely, almost like a lychee nut taste.
Yeah,
It's really
yeah.
nice. That's a great drink. And it has no calories.
No alcohol, no calories.
No alcohol,
You
no
drink as
calories,
much as
perfect,
you
yeah.
want. It's a great holiday drink, definitely.
Yes, indeed. Very good.
Excellent. We have not received any more questions at this point.
Okay. So our
All
chutney
right.
is done.
Yeah.
We've made our drink. We've tried them both. Thank you so very much for being with us tonight. It's been great to share a little time with you and to help us all get in the mood for Thanksgiving. And as I said, forget everything else in the world and just enjoy your family, enjoy the food, and give thanks. Thank you, Adele.
My pleasure. Thank you. Happy holidays, everyone. Thank you for joining.
All right. Take care.
Good night.